Hi, in this video we're going to be taking a look at intervals and how to use intervals to be able to train our ear. When we first hear the word interval, we may think of when we've been to the cinema or the theatre. We have the interval, which is the break between the first half of the show and the second half of the show. So that there lies the meaning of the word interval. So in musical terms, an interval is the space between two notes, or the relationship between one note and another note. We're going to put a chart up on the screen and explain this, and we can see there the list of intervals. So to explain, we picked the A note on the A string. That was our root note. The relationship between that note, A, and the next note on the first fret, between open and first, would be a minor second. And we could apply that rule to any note. We could pick any random note. If we go up one fret, we would be going up a minor second. If we went from the open A to the second fret, we would be going up a major second. And again, any random note on the neck of the guitar, if we went up 2 frets, we would be going up a major second. Now each one of these intervals has its own unique sound, and that's what's going to help us to train our ear. We'll come to that shortly. So quickly going through our list, which is on the screen there, moving from an A up to the first fret, minor second, go another step, major second, minor third, major third, fourth, tritone, fifth, minor sixth, major sixth, minor seventh, major seventh, octave. So that's quickly running through our list of intervals. At a later date we're going to look at intervals for how to learn chords and know our chords better, so watch out for that video. That will be coming up shortly. So as we mentioned before, each one of these intervals has its own unique sound. So if we took our minor second, now we're going to put a list up on the screen there, and we're going to listen to the sound of the interval and write down a name of a song which that interval reminds us of. And we can build a list so that we've got something we like tagging the sound. Now when we did this many years ago when I was at college and learned this, I went from not being able to work anything out by ear, being a complete fool. Suddenly after this hour lesson of learning this information, it was really like a revelation of how to work things out. And no one in the class failed. Everyone, it made sense to everyone. So it really is simple. Everyone can do it. And it's by everyone's list is going to be unique because it might remind us of a different song because we're all unique individuals. So this is some of the ones that I personally use to remind me. So if we go from that open A to the first fret, that's a minor second. So if we play, that sounds like the theme music of Jaws. It's got a very tense sound, so that's what the minor second sounds like. You could do that anywhere on the neck. You could pick the E note and go to the F. It has that same sound quality. So when we're listening to songs, if we hear that, we can identify the sound. If we did it backwards in reverse, say for example Far-Elise by Beethoven, put that beginning, it's the minor second going back to the root. That's the one for the list. Now if we go up to the major second, there's a few little ones that we can use. So say, so from that F sharp to the G sharp is a minor second. And we hear You Really Got Me by the Kinks. Or we could use so we can hear there on the Happy Birthday. We've got Frey Ray Jacques. We can hear that major second. If we go to the minor third, again on that A, going up 3 frets, there's a few songs that we can hear. For me, I always use Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin. We hear it on Smoke on the Water. So again, a minor third has a very unique sound. I think, where are we? On Hey Jude, we hear it in reverse. So that's the minor third, going from the minor third back to the root note. That's the minor third in reverse. So when we come to our major third, going from the open A to the 4th fret, we could use it on Amazing Grace, which goes first note there, which is a major third. So again, we can write that on our list to help us remember the major third. Apache by The Shadows is a fourth. From the first note to the second is a fourth. We also hear it on so we could write that on our list to explain what the fourth sounds like. Now, so we've got minor second, minor third, major third. We come to the tritone, often referred to as a diminished fifth or an augmented fourth. Now that's got a very unique sound. If we look at our chart, it has written on it alarming, disturbing or dissonant. Now we hear that on the theme music from The Simpsons. It's also part of the Devil's Scale that was banned back in the medieval times, and sometimes we hear it on Metallica songs. I think Black Sabbath used it, beginning of Purple Haze. Hear it on there. So again, that's a very, very unique. We then have a fifth, where we are going up to the 7th fret. So we hear it in, power chords. So we could use that. The song that reminds me, if we listen to the theme music of Star Wars. Now sometimes I can get mixed up with the octave to the because it sounds so nice, we can trick ourselves into thinking that's an octave, but that's a fifth. So you can hear that. Backwards, moving from the fifth back to the root, we have theme music of the Flintstones. You can hear that, it jumps out at you. So again, you can write that on the list. Or maybe you have your own song that it reminds you of. Then if we go up to the 8th fret, you have a minor 6th. and that has a very unique sound, and we hear that on In My Life by the Beatles. So again, if that sounds familiar to you, write that down, and that'll remind you when you hear a minor sixth. If we come to the major sixth, which is on the ninth, if we go from A to the ninth fret, so it always reminds me of My Way by Frank Sinatra. So again, we'd write that on our list. Coming up to the minor seventh, if we chose A to the 10th fret, this reminds me of the beginning of Star Trek. So again, we'd write that on our list. Now we're coming near the end, we come to the major seventh. So if we're going from the open A to the 11th fret, Take Me On by a-ha. It does have a very unique sound again. Now we come right at the end and we come to an octave, so open A to the 12th fret, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So if we again write that down, interestingly enough, the next note in that, which if we drop down, would be fallen from an octave to the major seventh, which is on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So we could use that in our list to remind us of the different sounds of the intervals. So I really hope that helps you be able to train your ear. When I first learned this information, I remember going straight home, putting the TV on, and the theme music here in Britain would people watch EastEnders, the soap opera, that being on the telly, and by the time the theme music had finished, I knew how to play it on the guitar. I'd worked out the melody, and that was really going from not having a clue how to do it to when you could hear the intervals, you could hear how far the next note went or whether it went down, and that's a really handy thing to know. As we said, we can use intervals to be able to understand chords better, and we'll be looking at in probably our next video. So as always, thank you for watching, and I hope that helps you with your ear training.